Hi, I'm Chris from Mustang Restorations in Dundee, Illinois. I've been restoring old Mustangs for 30 years now. It's tough to believe it's been that long. And I've been making a lot of how-to videos and a lot of informative videos regarding these old Mustangs. I try and make them a little lighthearted, sometimes a little comedy in there, and try and make it to the point where anybody at home could probably do the task I'm trying to get across the video. But today I'm talking about something that's a little bit more serious, a little bit more of a serious issue that these old Mustangs seem to have. And that's the gas tank issue on these old Mustangs. A lot of people don't realize that the top of the gas tank on a Mustang is actually your trunk floor. So when you open up your trunk lid and you look inside your trunk, that big thing that's in the center is not just a floor of a trunk, that's the top of a gas tank. And what I've found is that people don't realize that, and they tend to just throw things in their trunk and damage the top of their gas tank. I've seen some people actually puncture the top of their gas tanks, which is not a good thing because obviously you get vapor coming out and fluid. I had one guy that actually thought it was his trunk floor to the point where he drilled holes in it and mounted speakers in there because he wanted to put a high-dollar stereo system in it. There's also been some controversy as far as when you get into a rear-end collision on these old Mustangs, what's the integrity of the gas tank in them? There's some videos out there about these gas tanks actually coming apart and the gasoline spraying out into the passenger compartment, which, like any car in a severe enough accident, something like that could happen. So over the past 30 years, I've been trying to develop some sort of a product that's real user-friendly that anybody at their house can put in to help protect this situation. Is it going to be a cure-all for anything? No, it's not. I don't want to come across it's going to be a cure-all for anything. But it is something that's one step above what it originally was, and it doesn't take away from the look of the car. That's where I was trying to come from. There's other guys out there that have developed these things, these big steel plates that can cover your gas tank, and they're fine and dandy. It's just that they don't look real right. They look like something that somebody just made up at their home. I've developed something that really looks slick, and it does help protect the top of the gas tank, and I call it a tank top. And we're going to show you what that's all about today. The first thing you're going to want to do to put one of these things in is obviously open up your trunk, take your spare tire out, and take your trunk mat out. Then what you're going to see here is this is the top of your gas tank. This whole thing here is a drop-in style gas tank. If you take that out of there, you're going to have a big hole left behind. So you need to be aware that this is a gas tank. This is the top of the gas tank right here. And it's easy to damage. It's not a very big or thick piece of steel. And you can't drill into it. You can't damage it whatsoever. And it is somewhat vulnerable. So the first thing you're going to want to do is actually take out the roughly 11 or a dozen screws that hold this thing in. Basically with just a 3/8 ratchet. I have a little gun right here that I use. You can use a hand ratchet. I've tried to make this thing as easy as possible so anybody at home could do this. As a matter of fact, if you come to my shop and you buy one of these things from me, I'll put it in for you for free. That's how easy it is to put in. So anyways, once you get all these little screws out of there, you take the tank top that I've made. Now this is what it's all about. It's basically a preformed piece of steel that has the exact same ribbings in it as the original gas tank. So when it's put into place, it looks like it is the top of your gas tank, so it doesn't take away from the originality. For you guys out there that like to show your cars, this is what it's all about here to keep it original looking. It goes around the opening of the fuel filler, so you don't have to take your fuel filler off of there, and it literally bolts over the existing tank. Kind of gives it a little bit of a cover to help protect it. So you'll take this thing and you'll just put it inside the trunk here, lay it on top of your original tank, nestle it into place. It's probably not a bad idea to vacuum it out, clean it out, because you don't really want to sandwich anything between this lid or this tank top and the original tank. But you can see what it does. It kind of brightens it up. If you have an old tank that's still functional but just looks old, well, now you have something there that actually looks brand new in there. So it does serve a couple functions. I do supply the screws that are just a tad longer that will go in here, and basically you'll just find the hole that these things center in. And one by one, you'll just screw this thing back into place. You'll go all around and this thing will seat in there in no time at all. I tell you what, it'll probably take you about 10 minutes. The one thing you do have to watch out for is, since the car has had some previous owners, maybe there's some other screws in there that other people have put in. You're going to want to remove those two at the same time and then just use my new original type of screw in its place. And I tell you what, when it's all said and done, not only do you have the added protection of a tank top, but you have the beauty of something that looks brand new. So when you take your trunk mat and kind of pull it over in a car show, it really looks like you got a brand spanking new gas tank in there. So anyways, I don't really want to alarm too many people about this issue as far as the gas tanks go, but it is a danger just the same. These things are here, they're in the back of your car, and there is a little bit of a concern to be involved in. So I would invite you to order these things from me. They're relatively cheap. It's $149 for the tank with the new screws that'll put it in. I tell you what, that's real cheap insurance for yourself to have some peace of mind in the back of the car. Again, is it going to be a cure-all if you get hit in the back end by a semi-truck or you do something stupid by speeding and then hit a tree? Well, no, of course not. It's not going to do that. But it's just one more added piece of protection that you can put inside the trunk of the car that just makes sense for these old Mustangs. It's a serious thing that you need to consider for every Mustang. Every Mustang that goes out of here, I'm going to offer it to my customers because I feel that strongly about this issue. And you should too. It's a must for all Mustangs. So keep this thing in mind. I'm taking orders on these things. I got plenty of them in stock. They're $149.95 plus whatever shipping it is across the country. And like I say, if you happen to live in the local area around here, swing on in. It's $149.95 installed. That's how easy it is to put in. So again, keep an eye out for the rest of my videos. If I come up with any other trick things like this that is safety minded, I'll certainly pass them on to you guys because I've owned Mustangs, I own Mustangs, and I'm trying to do what I can to keep these things on the road and also keep them safe. In an age where we have airbags all around us and crumple zones, it's not a bad idea to add a little bit of protection to your original 60s Mustang. So until next time, keep in mind that this doctor, the doctor of restoration, is always in. Take it easy.